Have you ever noticed someone who seems completely at peace being single? They don't appear interested in dating, searching for a partner, or constantly chasing love. It might be a friend, a family member, a colleague, or even yourself. At first, their attitude can seem unusual because society often suggests that everyone should be looking for love. In reality, choosing not to chase love is rarely a sign of giving up or resentment. More often, it reflects a change in perspective. These individuals deliberately place greater importance on emotional well-being, personal development, and self-respect than on endlessly searching for a relationship. In this video, we will explore the psychology of people who stop chasing love. We will look at the reasons behind this choice, what it says about their mindset and life experiences, the personality often involved, and the advantages this approach brings. By the end of this video, you may see those who have stepped away from the dating race, and perhaps even yourself, from a completely different perspective. Rather than viewing the decision as fear, you will understand it as a sign of maturity, self-awareness, and emotional intelligence. It is also important to understand that heartbreak is not the only reason someone stops chasing love. For many, it is a thoughtful decision made after recognizing the emotional toll of repeated disappointment, ongoing frustration, or the exhausting need for someone else's validation. Imagine how often people throw themselves into relationships only to end up feeling neglected, unappreciated, or emotionally drained. After experiencing this cycle enough times, some individuals decide that constantly chasing love is not worth sacrificing their peace of mind. Instead of directing all their energy toward finding a partner, they invest it in themselves. They focus on personal goals, meaningful interests, self-improvement, and building a fulfilling life that doesn't depend on another person's approval. Choosing this path doesn't mean they've stopped caring about love. It means they've learned to value their own emotional well-being and understand that genuine happiness begins with meeting their own needs before expecting someone else to fulfill them. By stepping back, they gain a clearer understanding of the kind of relationship they truly want, one built on shared values, emotional compatibility, and mutual respect rather than temporary excitement or the desire for external validation. Many of the people who make this choice share certain personality traits. They are often independent, deeply reflective, and highly aware of their own emotions. Many enjoy spending time alone, using solitude as an opportunity for self-reflection rather than constantly seeking social interaction. Some have endured heartbreak, rejection, or emotional neglect, experiences that naturally make them more careful about who they allow into their lives. However, their decision to stop chasing relationships is not driven by bitterness or resentment. Instead, it reflects emotional maturity and a thoughtful approach to protecting their well-being. These individuals understand that emotional energy is valuable and shouldn't be spent carelessly. They know that relentlessly seeking love without clear intentions can lead to anxiety, disappointment, and a loss of self-confidence. By stepping back, they create space to recover, grow, and build a fulfilling life that doesn't depend on having a romantic partner. Unfortunately, people often misunderstand those who embrace this mindset. Many assume they're lonely, emotionally detached, or incapable of love. But the reality is, they tend to be among the happiest and most emotionally balanced people because they've discovered that lasting happiness comes from within rather than from someone else's affection. Instead of making relationships the center of their world, they nurture meaningful friendships, pursue personal interests, and create lives filled with purpose. Ironically, this sense of fulfillment often makes them more attractive to compatible partners. Their confidence, emotional stability, and self-respect naturally attract healthier relationships than desperation or constant chasing ever could. Because they no longer feel compelled to find someone to complete them, they enter future relationships by choice rather than necessity. This foundation often produces stronger, healthier, and more balanced partnerships built on mutual respect instead of emotional dependence. Choosing not to chase love also provides significant psychological rewards. It reduces unnecessary stress, encourages healthier personal boundaries, and strengthens self-esteem by removing the constant need for outside validation. The energy once spent seeking approval can instead be invested in personal development, hobbies, meaningful experiences, and long-term goals. Over time, these individuals become more emotionally resilient because they learn to depend on themselves before relying on someone else's attention or affection. As a result, they often approach life's challenges with greater confidence, inner peace, and emotional stability. They gain a powerful sense of control by recognizing their own worth and carefully choosing where to invest their emotional energy. Another fascinating aspect of this behavior is what it teaches us about human relationships. People who stop chasing love understand that the strongest connections develop when two people truly want to be together, not because they desperately need one another. They know that successful relationships are built on emotional security, self-awareness, and mutual respect rather than fear, dependency, or insecurity. Watching someone adopt this approach reminds us that sometimes the healthiest decision is to stop searching outward and start investing inward. Focusing on personal growth allows us to approach relationships with confidence and clarity instead of anxiety or loneliness. It reflects patience, self-respect, and the wisdom to wait for connections that truly align with our values. So, why do people stop chasing love in the first place? There are several key reasons. The first reason is self-awareness. They recognize unhealthy relationship patterns from the past and refuse to repeat them. The second is a commitment to personal growth. They understand that emotional energy is limited and choose to invest it in their ambitions, passions, and overall well-being. Third is resilience. After experiencing heartbreak, rejection, or emotional pain, they choose healing over distraction. Rather than rushing into another relationship, they allow themselves time to recover, reflect, and become stronger. Fourth is clarity. They now have a better understanding of the qualities they seek in a partner and the behaviors they are no longer willing to accept. Finally, they develop emotional independence. Their sense of value no longer depends on another person's approval, affection, or presence. Together, these qualities explain why someone may stop chasing love without losing the ability to love deeply. In many cases, they become even more capable of building genuine, lasting relationships because their affection comes from freedom, self-respect, and intentional choice instead of emotional need. This perspective also encourages each of us to examine our own habits. Are we chasing love in ways that leave us feeling anxious, exhausted, or incomplete? Or are we focusing on becoming emotionally healthy, developing ourselves, and creating a fulfilling life regardless of our relationship status? Ultimately, the psychology behind people who stop chasing love extends far beyond romance. It teaches valuable lessons about self-respect, patience, emotional balance, and living with intention. It reminds us that love should enrich an already meaningful life, not become the only source of happiness. When relationships are approached from a place of confidence rather than need, they are far more likely to flourish. Understanding this mindset can transform the way we think about dating, friendship, and emotional well-being, showing us that sometimes the greatest act of self-love is having the courage to stop chasing and start choosing wisely.